This segment is on the GDPR data inventory and how to set it up in Salesforce, the basic concepts. First, it's not just technology, it's a privacy statement. Legal has to comply with. Don't download into spreadsheets, right? So the internal privacy statement has to be reviewed. 2, then you have to do a data inventory, right? So for instance, this shows like, where's it all go? I'm a big fan of having Salesforce be the master data instance, so to speak, because it could be in AWS, it could be in a bunch of MailChimp instances or ExactTarget or SharePoint or Gmail, right? The big problem's going to be Excel spreadsheets out there from your sales guys. Did you let them export it? When did that happen? Where are the spreadsheets of customer personal information? And how open is your org? One of the key things is only people that are mission critical should see the EU citizens data, right? If you have OWD, org-wide defaults, as open, then you have a problem. I recommend record types for EU citizens to comply with GDPR. So you have a record type and then you have a different flow. Okay, next, it's a shared responsibility. So the first thing you have to do is create a data inventory. It'll look very much like this. This is the one from Elements, where you run it against your org. And that's why your org needs to be linked into Oracle, SAP, MailChimp. So it all surfaces in Salesforce. Then secondly, you'll have a data inventory categorization. This is pretty cool, where you'll then see what's potential personal data, what's special data, what we don't know, right? And then 3, your dashboard. What's private, what's not, etc. And you know where the problem areas are. And then that gives you a report like this. So once you have the assessment, how much personal data you have, how many spreadsheets are out there, do you have clear lawful basis consent? So things like what are the next steps, right? Do you have a DPO assigned? Who is that? Then the next thing that you have to work on is making sure your permissions are in place, right? Besides having the OWD on the contact lead private, like this, for instance, a subscription form. So you just need to ask for a lot more stuff. Like your web form, your website should have RTB, right to be forgotten. How is my data used? Who's the DPO point of contact? Verify their identity, because you could have a bunch of competitors just ping or a robot ping and say, delete me. And you're deleting valid EU citizens who want your information, but it could be an attack by a competitor. So you get an RTB, right to be forgotten, verify their identity, then go through the process. These are the changes to the website, right? And as far as things, privacy, permissions, agreement, email, in person, online, or third party, how did you get there? And that's what Elements Clouds does, and there'll be links to that. Salesforce has, and right down below here, Salesforce has a GDPR object now you can install, and 2, Elements does a great job with that. And I'd recommend you actually get a free Elements instance, right, from elements.cloud, link below. Use their process that's already mapped out, and it's a diagram process, much better than Visio, much better. And that way you'll just be able to, here's how your data is used, send them a picture. Here's our process for a data breach. This one is, for instance, about the methodology on implementing. Much better than Visio, right? So all of a sudden you're in compliance. You can tell somebody exactly the flow. And for standard compliance, Elements Cloud has basically done all the work. And the flow part is free, right? These are free. So just work off their work for standard process for compliance of GDPR. And then if you need the pro version of Elements, that does the data inventory for you. Doesn't do the architecting, but does the data inventory within the Salesforce org. And then the other one is the one for compliance. So you like this one here. What happens with a data breach? You have 72 hours to report a data breach, and that's over a weekend, to the EU citizens. And this is the process for it. Very clear. Again, it'll be linked below. And the key thing is GDPR is a shared responsibility, like this from AWS. It's a shared responsibility. So think about it. Legal compliance, personal compliance, technology compliance. And again, there are links below to the key tools that I've used to implement GDPR in Salesforce. Thank you.